Right, here we go then. Big Al, that's me, and the Doc, that's him. And, well, an open house. Well, we say an open house day. There's a lot of loose subjects in today's phone, and we're expecting a call from... Sorry?
Before you do any of this, could I just do this? I'll just hold this. I'm not sure if you can see the camera will be able to see this. But this is a letter from Hounslow Borough Council. Now, the letter was written in 1980, and we have to start with a formal apology to a guy who is not happy with us, called Steve Jones. Now, Steve Jones his hobby now is collecting dust carts.
Is this the one that Channel 4 did the programme about that Suggs from Madness presented?
Yeah, Suggs and I, we met a couple of weeks ago, and Suggs and I were discussing this guy. He's a real man, used to live in Hounslow in London, now he lives on the Isle of Wight, and he restores dust carts. His hobby is dust carts, and apparently his house, which we've not yet seen, is a shrine to dust carts. And we're hoping to get the Sony TV cameras up there so we can actually check this house out. But Suggs from Madness has told me that Steve Jones is a complete nutcase. Now, I foolishly said that he was a very sad man. I said, apparently, now we're going to put this right now, I said that this guy had worked for Hounslow Borough Council in London in the Parks Department as an assistant gardener. That's what I said. And that the guy's ambition...
Well, he did.
The guy's ambition had been to be on the bins. But sadly, he'd never made it. And that's why this kind of obsession that he had with dust carts had come to nothing. And I said, clearly, I made the impression, or created the impression, the guy was a bit of a loser. Well, we got this letter from Hounslow Council, which he sent us, Steve Jones has sent us. And the letter is dated the 8th of November, 1980. And it's his appointment to Hounslow Council as an assistant gardener. Now, all right, so where's the dust cart job? Well, when I turn over the page here, you'll see another letter written just 8 years later. 8 years later, also from Hounslow Council, confirming the great news. I mean, 8 years is a long time to wait for anything, but particularly when you're in the Parks Department, 8 years later, he was in fact offered the job as refuse collector. Well done, Steve, and we'd like to make clear that we've created the impression that Steve never made it as a dustman. We'd like to apologise. Clearly, 8 years after starting with the council, they did in fact put him on the bins.
And he's on the Isle of Wight, and he brought his dust cart along to the classic car show that we did recently. But not only that, he brought his own dustbins to go near it, and he dressed as a bin man. At the end of the show, on the Sunday, when we were clearing up, he stayed behind and helped us fill the skip.
Yes, but what didn't he let you do? He didn't let us put any rubbish in the back of his...
Oh no, he wouldn't, because it's all polished up.
It's all polished and clean. He won't have it. He won't have it ruined by chucking a few black bags in the back.
Line one. Hi, who's that?
Hello, is that me?
Is that Mick Jagger?
Yeah.
Hello, Mick.
Where's that Simon to?
Ah, Simon, Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
What's his DVD?
Sent Friday.
It was sent Friday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Now it's on its way. This is Mick the Gas.
Oh.
Mick the Gas. We've been putting out an APB all morning for Pat the Builder. Let me just take this. Hello, Mick.
Pat the Builder.
Yeah. Tell him that. Where is Pat the Builder? Good morning. Is that Woods Trade Supplies? This is Alex Dyke. Can you give that lazy, no-good plumber the keys to that property? I've met him, yeah. And ask him where that other two-bit loser Pat the Builder is. We've put out an APB for him. Thank you very much.
Compulsive viewing, this is.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And listening, of course.
Oh,
Sorry.
Hard
to believe people out there hanging on our every word.
No, tell him to keep the keys. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Sort this out. We'll be with you in a minute.
Sorry about this. Now, I'm working on a property at the moment, and Pat the Builder has gone missing.
As builders and plumbers tend to do. I mean, that must be your experience like it's everybody else's experience.
And that was the plumber I've been trying to get for the last 2 hours.
Did you give him much money up front for materials?
No, this time I didn't. But he did ask for some cash on Friday just to see him through the weekend.
Oh, yeah. They need a sort of
that.
part payments. I'm sure if you deal with like the new Wembley Stadium, if you deal with them, the builders that were Australian, I think, there's kind of lawyers involved, and there are stage payments every step of the way.
Let's talk about the new Wembley Stadium. FA Cup on Saturday. What the hell was that shadow all about? Did you see that?
I know, it was abysmal, wasn't it?
And the cameraman obviously had to adjust the light. So because it was so dark in the shadow, and the picture, of course, the top half was the sunshine on the pitch, and as the camera looked down, and the bottom half was the shadow. As he adjusted the light so we could see the guys in the shadow, it bleached the picture at the top. Did you notice that?
Of course, I noticed it. It was appalling. They've spent about £1 billion building a stadium that now the cameras don't work in, unless presumably the roof closes. Simon, does the roof close completely on Wembley Stadium?
No idea. I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
Oh well, as you say,
I hope it did for the money.
They've changed it. They've built this thing. They spent £1 million on it, and as you say, you can't.
I don't know whether I like it. Hi, line one.
Alex, Talc.
Talky Johnson. Hello, Talc.
You're on about that man with the dust cart.
Hang on there. Malcolm Talcom.
Oh,
Talky Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve
the
Jones.
Man with the dust cart. It's like the doc said, he is a real anorak. Serious anorak.
Well, it's a serious hobby and a serious interest. That doesn't make him an anorak just because he dresses up as a dustman in his spare time and polishes up his bins and his dust cart.
Well, when you go around a few shows, you sort of look at other people and you think, God, I'm glad I'm not like them.
I've always thought that about the military people. You know, there's a fireman on the island, or not a fireman, a guy who owns a fire engine, and he dresses like a...
Trumpton Trev.
Trumpton Trev.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, he goes to everything, takes his sandwiches and a flask of tea. But the military worry me, because why would you want all this military gear if you could actually use it? If I wanted a tank, I'd want to shoot it at people like traffic wardens and, the people that drive your barmy.
Yeah,
But they don't do that. They just dress up in their camouflage khaki gear, seem to have a bit of a brew-up, as if they were kind of out there in the field. I do wonder whether any of them actually seen any military service.
Well, I don't know, but it's everybody to their own taste.
Of course it is. And where would these big shows like the Garlic Festival and the Funtasia and the County Show be without the people that dress as Red Indians and live in wigwams for the weekend? These people, colour up the...
They do. They colour up English life.
That's right. We went out to Calbourne show the other weekend and they was out there and they made themselves like a little... like an army camp, and when you walked in round it was quite good, actually.
Good, it's like living on it's like seeing a real film set, you know.
It's youngsters, what went on, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Of course, I guess.
Living history, they call it now.
And no one forces them to do it. I just think it's a little strange, but not quite as strange as our mate Steve Jones, who apparently his house is a shrine to dust carts. He collects dust carts, he's restored a dust cart, and apparently he's not married, which is how we came to kind of become...
Well, he is, to a dust cart.
Well, exactly. There's not room in his life for his...
I hope he doesn't make love to it.
I remember a lorry driver once saying to me, he was a long-distance lorry driver, he used to do a lot of work in mainland Europe, and his wife said to him, I think she was his third wife, he said, you know what, Dave, he was from the north, he said, Dave, she said to me, either you go, I go, or the truck goes. And he said, I told her, that wagon, love, or pet, as he called her, is going nowhere. And, he meant it. He really meant it. The wife did go, and the truck stayed on the drive at home.
You're a sensible man.
Nice
Thank you, Talky.
Volvo F88 tractor unit, and to be honest, I always had a bit of a thing for those.
Now, see, I went to school with Talky Johnson, and while we were all putting pop stars' names on our exercise books, he was writing Massey Ferguson.
Was he?
Weren't you?
Well, possible, yeah.
Yeah, you were.
And are you now a tractor owner? Have you got a little Fergie?
No, I haven't got a Fergie. No, I've got a Fordson and a couple of other Fords. And
was it your ambition?
That you sat in?
Was it your ambition to have a little Fergie?
No, not really.
Because they fetch a fortune, those little Fergies now, don't they?
Yeah, I know they do, yeah.
What would I pay for a really nice Fergie?
Oh, who cares? Thanks, Talky. What are you going on about tractors for?
Well, because to be honest, I'm going on about tractors. I don't want you to start with me on my lovely new Rabbit.
Well, I need to speak to you about that. But, you know, when we're in the States and you go into all those shops that sell all that memorabilia stuff, and you see some of those classic names out there, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola, and all those great brands, Walt Disney, all of those, and one of the biggest ones is John Deere.
John Deere, of course it is.
You know, tractors and...
A lot of men on the island, they walk around in John Deere overalls, even when they're not actually working in the agricultural industry.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, the new Wembley, what did you think of the new Wembley? I know the cup final was a dreadful match, it was boring, but that's...
Not that you watched all of it.
No, I didn't actually.
I think you spent about as much time with that as you did with the Walk the White the week before.
And I want to talk about Tiger Island, which went out on ITV Meridian.
Terrific.
Filmed on the Isle of Wight, down at the Isle of Wight Tiger Sanctuary, or the Isle of Wight Zoo. I want to know what you thought of that, whether you watched that. So it's the new Wembley. What did you think of that? Tiger Island, how much good do you think that's going to do to the Isle of Wight? The Cutty Sark. I'm saying, Look, it's a shame that someone, and they do think that they are, foul play is suspected. It's a shame it's burnt down, but let's not rebuild it. It won't be the Cutty Sark. There's nothing left.